Hey guys, it's Disco Spider, and back in 2014, Warner Animation Group released their first ever animated film, The Lego Movie, which was a big success and a huge hit with the critics. But now, 2 years later, Warner Animation Group decided to follow up that success with Storks, a movie about storks. It's weird because, the next two movies that are following this will be two Lego movies, the Lego Batman movie and Lego Ninjago, and they have like a couple of other Lego movies, so it's gonna be weird throughout like, what, 5 or 6 of their movies is gonna be randomly a Storks movie, and then all the others are Lego movies, so it's weird that they decide to release this, but I mean, it's out already, so I mean, I can't really complain, since I've seen it, so might as well review it. Actually, thinking about this movie is pretty much the opposite of the Lego Movie. How the Lego Movie, there was just no potential of making a good movie out of these Lego bricks. But then if you look at this movie, this has some potential with some cool character development and this really cool story that could have made a good movie. But the Lego Movie had no potential that was actually a good movie, and this movie had a lot of potential, but then they made it into a not so good movie. The story is generic. We've heard it a million times where it's about these two people that don't really get along, but then they have to go to this adventure to go somewhere, and then throughout the adventure they found out that they are kind of similar and they start to really like each other. And there's also another plot where we have this kid who's neglected by his parents because their parents are workaholics, and both of these plots have been done many times, but just because a plot is unoriginal does not make it a bad movie. It all depends on the execution, and the execution on this movie is not good. For this story to work, especially the one about the two duos getting along, you have to have really likable and fun characters, and this movie does not have that whatsoever. Our main character, Junior, who there's nothing about him. He doesn't have a personality except for being the best employee of his work. But after that, there is nothing about him to make him interesting. He's not like egotistical. He's not like very weak. Like, he doesn't want to show people that he's weak and tries to pretend that he's all strong and stuff. We get nothing from him. There's no characteristics of him. He's just a stork. He's the main character, and he's going to be the boss. So we don't even get to know why he wants to be a boss or why he doesn't want to be a boss. There is no development in this character. He just is. He's a very generic and bland and boring and just a lame character who is our main character in this movie. And we also have the other main character, Tulip, who does not get that much development. There is a cool development where she's the only human in the Storks, and she's very lonely and stuff, and right there we could have had some good development, and even they hinted at one of the scenes where Junior asked, "What, if you were boss, what would you do?" And then she had this entire list of what she'd do if she was boss. So I thought that, oh, just the development between this character would be that, no one really likes her, and then she's kind of, not really a slacker, but every time she tries, nothing works out for her, but then realizes that she can be the boss and do nothing but tell people what to do and have these great ideas, but nope. The only thing that we really get to see from her is that she gets to meet her parents at the very end, which, I mean, I guess was her plot, since the whole movie was about her wanting to see her family, but we don't really get to know why she wants to see her family, except for, well, it's my family and I want to see them, even though you've never seen them before, so why does it really matter, since, I don't know, these characters are just very boring. So having a character-driven plot does not work if your characters are uninteresting. Take Inside Out from 2015, how it's kinda the same plot in a way where it's these two characters that don't really get along at first, have to go somewhere, but then throughout the movie they find out that they actually like each other, and they have some common interests between one another, and that they are kind of the same in a way. However, in Inside Out, Joy and Sadness are actual likable characters, and we get development between Joy and Sadness, which makes the movie good, because the characters are likable. Here, there's no development, there's no likeness between both of these characters, making the plot very boring. And as for the other characters, they're just cliched. We have, your typical neglected son, the typical workaholic parents. There's nothing really to them. They're not that bad characters, but, they're just bland. There's nothing to them to make them interesting or stand out from the others. And then we have the cliched greedy boss who runs the company. And then we have just pretty much cliched and generic characters. Especially, there's one character in this movie that annoys the hell out of me, which I don't remember his name, but he's this little pigeon. He talks like this and stuff, and then randomly he starts singing, How You Like Me Now, or whatever that song is, and he's just a very annoying character that serves nothing to the plot. He's just there for, like, saying, hey, brah, you like my, girlfriend, she lives in Canada, totally real, I didn't make her up. These jokes are just not funny, and just the character is just so annoying. And the best part of the movie is, hands down, or feathers down, the animation. The animation is amazing. It's, you know, Warner Animation Group, at least they can nail the animation. The Lego Movie looked fantastic animation-wise, or the movie itself was fantastic, but the animation in the Lego Movie was amazing, and this movie looks fantastic. I really like how they can make cartoony animation without overdoing it like Sony Pictures animation. I really hate the animation on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Hotel Transylvania, where it's overly cartoony and that they, like, all the characters move in a very cartoony way all the time. In this movie, they only do it for gags, and, you know, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and Hotel Transylvania have these cartoony gags where, for a gag, they, like, do something slapsticky and cartoony, but it doesn't work there because it's just oversaturated. They've just been doing it so many times, like, without jokes, but then when they try to do jokes with them, it's like, it's not funny. But for this movie, you know, they walk normally in, you know, a typical animated cartoon way, but then for a slapstick, they do, like, these really cartoony faces, or they, like, stretch really weird for jokes, and it works there and does not work for those other movies. So at least I can say that this movie looks amazing. This movie's animation is definitely one of my favorites of this year. But besides the animation, this movie is not that good. But besides the animation, the only thing I can actually say that kind of saved this movie, that doesn't make it like a bad movie but makes it more of a meh movie, is the humor. A lot of it is miss and not that funny, but there are some jokes here that work and that are actually entertaining and actually get some quite a bit of laughs from me, to not make it a total boring experience, say like Ratchet and Clank or the Ice Age 5, where I was totally bored throughout that movie with no jokes. Here, there are actually jokes that work, especially the wolf pack. That was those two scenes were actually really funny. So this movie is not that bad, but it's nowhere near being a good movie. I don't recommend this movie. I'd say, you know, just wait for maybe Trolls. Definitely Moana is gonna be at least better than this movie. I'm still optimistic about Trolls. It could be good, it could be bad, but I'd say, you know, just skip this movie. Just watch the Lego Movie again. Maybe if you're really interested in seeing Storks, you know, maybe it looks like your type of comedy. If you liked Hotel Transylvania and Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and those cartoony movies, then this movie is right up your alley. But besides that, if you really like the Lego Movie and you're interested in what Warner Brothers has, you might be disappointed. But, I mean, the next two movies next year in 2017 are two Lego movies, and they do seem, at least Lego Batman seems like it'll have the same humor as the Lego Movie, where it's fourth wall breaking. So at least hopefully they can get back their mojo and maybe those movies will be a lot better than Storks. So yeah, I'm Mystical Spider, and peace out.